Hi Rob, welcome back.
Thank you.
As you know, we've done a questionnaire and a few health tests. I'm just going to go over them with you now.
Thank you.
So the first one is your BMI. You've got a result of 19, which is considered a healthy weight compared to the national averages for your height, weight, gender and age. The benefits of this is that you have a balanced diet which is maintaining the right amount of carbs, protein and fibre, etc., which you seem to be maintaining well, which then gives you less chance of getting things like diabetes and becoming obese. You're also safe from becoming underweight as well, becoming malnourished, which could cause you more risk of injury as your bones are a bit weaker. Then the ways we can sort of combat this to sort of keep you at this BMI score is to keep you 3 hours of activity a week and keep maintaining your healthy and balanced diet, which will hopefully keep you within that range. And the government guidelines of an exercise a week is 150 minutes, so you are above the recommended guidelines, which is good. And the government guidelines for recommended intakes of carbs and protein, etc. is here. So protein, you need 50 grams per day, fat 70 grams, saturated fatty acids 24 grams, carbohydrates 310 grams, sugars 90 grams, sodium 2.3 grams, and dietary fibre is 30 grams. So hopefully you're maintaining that well. The next one we did was the waist to hip ratio, which your score is 0.88, which compared to the national averages is a good score. The benefits of this is that you reduce your chances again of obesity and then the possibilities of getting things like diabetes, which is obviously a lot healthier than having diabetes and being overweight. And the same again as the BMI, you know, stops you from being underweight and malnourished, which then can cause things like injury because your bones become weaker. Again, very similar to a BMI, to keep it that way is to maintain your 3 hours a week of activity and keep track of your balanced diet, make sure you're still within them ranges. And the government guidelines for your waist to hip ratio, excellent for a male is less than 0.85. Good is 0.85 to 0.89, which you fall in. Average is 0.9 to 0.95. And anything above 0.95 is at risk, so you're pretty safe in the good section. The next one was the peaks flow, which your result was 500, which is considered to be below average compared to the national averages. The benefits, if you were to have a good score, shows things like you have a better lung capacity, meaning you'll be able to perform well in sports or activities that require aerobic fitness. So for you, your specific sport is football. Yeah. So you'll be able to perform, hopefully, for the majority of the game or even a full 90 minutes. However, as your score is below average, it could show that some work needs to be done on the cardiovascular area. So things like getting you trained on the treadmill and bike, so it improves that. Yeah. And then could set a target for you to be able to last a full 90 minutes on the majority of the football game. Again, like we said, the strategy of this is to try and get you into more cardiovascular training. So things like the treadmill, bike, rowing machine, things like that, cross trainer, will hopefully improve that. And finally, the government guidelines for your peaks flow should, for your height and things like that, should be around 650. Yeah. So again, we'll try and get you up to that good score. The next one is the resting heart rate, which you currently have a resting heart rate of 6 beats per minute, which compared to national averages is considered a good score. The benefits of this is that it shows that you have a fairly good level of fitness and is within the recommended score, which means that having a good resting heart rate is you should be able to cope aerobically for longer and more efficiently in your specific sport, which obviously again is football. The issues we could have if it was to get faster could mean a drop off in your aerobic fitness, meaning you might not be able to last a full 90 minutes and you become fatigued a lot quicker. The way that we could combat this is, again, by maintaining your current level of activities a week, so your 3 hours, and then hopefully getting a bit more specific cardiovascular training there again with the treadmill, row, exercise bike, things like that. The government guidelines for your resting heart rate, for yours, should be, so the poor is 82 or above, which you're well away from, below average 74 to 81, average 70 to 73, good 66 69, great 62, 65, excellent. 56, 61, which what you fall in. So you're currently at a good, you have a good resting heart rate, and then to be considered an athlete for your age is 49 to 55, which hopefully we could maybe try and get you down to. Finally, the last one is your blood pressure, which will score 107 for your systolic pressure and 62 for your diastolic, which is considered a good score compared to the national averages again. The benefits of this is there is less strain on the vessels and arteries, which is a benefit during exercise, as there'll be less pressure on the heart, meaning your average perform cardiovascularly for longer. The issue is if the blood pressure goes any higher, which will then obviously put more pressure on the arteries and vessels, which could put you more at risk of any heart problems, which then maybe put you in a position where you're unable to play any sports or not last as long in a football game. The ways that we could keep this at the same level, or if it was to get any higher, combat it by keeping things like your cholesterol down, so it puts less strain and pressure on the arteries, and by eating less fats and saturated fats, either reducing them or just keeping out your diet completely. And finally, the government guidelines for it is anything for your systolic pressure less than 120 is good, which you have, and anything less than 80 for your diastolic is again considered good, which you have. Anything really 120 to 29 for your systolic and less than 80 again is elevated. Then it goes a lot higher for high blood pressure, and you get to a sort of a crisis stage any higher than 180 for your systolic and higher than 120 for your diastolic, which you are well away from, and I'm sure we can keep you away from. I think that's it. Thanks very much.
Thank you.